went in the army at 20 and spent 3 years in special services and come out and thought there was a better way to live. So I started a business with 3 other mates, and we run that right through till 89. Then we sold up, and I went and become state manager for Australia's largest building company for about 3 years, which was the hardest time of my life. It was interesting. I wasn't used to corporate work. It was quite a different thing to running your own show. So I've had a bit of experience. I've bought 33 bankrupt companies. I've restructured 31 successfully, and it's all just a format. It's the same format every time. I don't care what the business is. It just works. So anyway, that's about me. Flick it on the next one, Kingsley. Thanks, mate. When I retired, that's what I owned. There's 24 companies in one group. I owned 19 of them outright, and I had associates working out of my office. We're in one office at Milton, about 1,500 square metres of space where everything happened in one place. We called it wallet share. When a client walked in the room, we took all the money, not just some of it. A very profitable operation, but it was all based around business coaching. We franchised the business coaching and put 520 offices in 22 countries in a 5-year period, so pretty good growth. And I had a lot of help doing that. Right? I think the biggest challenge I had initially is I didn't understand how many people helped me get started and get running. Right? So I understand the importance of that now, and I watch people trying to make it happen, and instead of utilising their connections and getting groups together, they actually try and do it on their own, and it just doesn't work. So utilise the group you've got here. It's a phenomenal group of people that know what they're doing. Make it work more for you. Next one. I trademarked that about 20 years ago, called Building the Money Manor, because that's the system I use. It's get your cash flow going. Once you get your cash flow going, start playing in areas that seriously make you some money. And I haven't got a lot of time to go through this. As a full-day workshop, cut down to an hour and a half, cut down to 10 minutes, so it's a pretty quick overview. Flick it on. Kingsley. Next one.
You've got this timed, haven't you?
No. No. You've missed one.
Must have a nodded. That's the one.
Is it?
That's
all
the
right.
next one, yeah.
Right order. Okay. People say, where do you start? Well, it's not rushing out and buying a house, because that's where most people go wrong. Right? And people talk about planning, but not many people actually understand what it really is. Right? And we talk about setting goals. I have an attitude towards that. I never understood why you set goals. I remember I brought Jim Rohn out here about 74, but I didn't need that American stuff because I was okay, called arrogant little shit. And I made sure I was so busy I didn't listen to what he said. And he come out here again about 2003 or 2004, and I went backstage to meet him. I said, you probably don't remember me. He said, oh yeah, I do. You were that arrogant little shit that was going nowhere. And it was because I didn't understand the purpose of setting goals. And his attitude towards setting goals is, you don't set the goal to get the goal. You set the goal to become the person that can achieve the goal. Right? So it's really different thought. Right? And smart goals, I think we've gone a bit far.
It just keeps jumping.
Does it? All right. Go back one.
That one?
Yeah. It's a long spiel, but it's really, it's not about setting smart goals. It's a matter of setting heart goals, the ones that are really important to you, the ones that motivate you and make you do it. Because when it gets tough, and it will get tough, got tough for me just before Christmas. I blew something and ended up short about 120 grand on my cash flows, and it was like, wow. It's taken me 2 months of hard work to pull myself through it. but most people would have laid down and gone bankrupt. Because I went into $1 million deal with funny finance at 12% for the year and forgot that David would take his first 12 months interest out the front. I only had $880,000 to settle up $1 million deal. It made it a bit tight, all right? So it's just a matter of do what you've got to do and focus on the important stuff. It's really important to you. Understand why you're doing what you're doing. Don't ask for the mechanics on how until you know why. Because if you get your total self totally committed, you do whatever it takes. And most people don't understand that level of commitment. I was lucky because of my background in special services. There was things we did that if you weren't totally committed, you weren't alive. So you wake up pretty quickly that, hey, there's a level of commitment here, but there's a level of commitment up here. Right? And that's the difference. Right? Now with budgets, we talk about setting budgets and most people go, well, I earn X amount so I can do this. And I look at it and go, I need to do this, and that dictates what I need to make. Right? And there's 3 levels of income. You either get money from working, which everybody in this room knows how to do, right? Or you get money from employing somebody and making money out of them, right? Or invest your money to make some more money. Right? And then there's what I call creating money, where you get really creative with your maths and know 1 and 1 doesn't make 2, it makes 5, 6 or 7. Right? And every deal I do for a client is about creating long-term wealth, but also creating immediate upside, where they don't just get what I call a slow death, buy an investment property and pay it off over 30 years, and hopefully they can get 2 or 3 and retire. Very few people do. The stats are terrible. 75% of people who buy an investment property sell it within 5 years and make a loss, and they never go out and buy another one. And the reality is it's because they do not understand what they're doing. And they're listening to salespeople that are out there trying to sell them something. And the salespeople's only interest is in what he's got to sell. It's not about what the client needs. So it's really different. And the other thing we used to get our clients to do when they were young, and we get our grandkids to do it now, and it works. Instead of understanding what you earn, most people's expenditure is quite different to their earning pattern. Up 1 month they've got car registration, another month they've got insurance, another month they've got rates, and it's all over the place. I still, even on my financial position today, I still pay my rates monthly. I still pay my car insurance monthly. I still pay my car registration monthly. Why? Because I draw a regular monthly amount for an income, and I keep my expenditure under that amount. So if you get that right, you've got an investment challenge. If you haven't got enough to pay yourself monthly or weekly, go and see, can't see him right now, I've lost him. He's disappeared. Go and see one of the guys in the room. Troy, sorry, if you've got a business and you're not making enough, it doesn't take much to make that business grow a bit. Right? I've got a little computer program that if you put in what you've got now and what you need to get, it'll tell you what return you need to get on your money. Once you know what you need to get, guess what? All you've got to do is not do the stuff that won't get you there. Stop doing the garbage and do what you've got to do. It takes a bit of discipline. But if you look at that program, and it should be up there somewhere, is it? No. Yeah, that one. Right. All you've got to do is play with that, and it looks like it's a mile out. The guy's currently getting 13% and he needs 23% to retire within 5 years. Right? And if you actually took his expenditure and took some of the equity out of his house and added a bit to it, and then played with his business and got an extra 10 or 15% out of his business, and looked at his superannuation and got some decent returns, 15 to 20% instead of the 3 or 4% you get, the guy's going to achieve his outcome quite simply. All right? So it's not really hard. All right, next one, Kingsley, where are we? And people talking about property talk about yield. As soon as I hear somebody talking about yield about property, I know they have no understanding of what they're doing. Because property's not about yield, it's about ROI, return on your invested capital. Because property can be highly leveraged, so it makes a lot of difference. Right. Yeah, that hasn't come up correctly. But if you took a cent and doubled it every day for 31 days, you end up with over $10 million. Is that incredible or not? At day 15, you've got $163. So if you wait a week to start investing, have you cost yourself the first week or have you cost yourself the back end of money? And that's what people miss, because the investment's all about long term. It's the growth at the end. Right? So we're short on time, out of time. I just want you to indulge me for a minute. You're going to think I'm nuts. But what I'm about to do, I want to do for an exercise. Don't knock me over in the rush. I'm going to sell a $100 bill for $50. Right. It's specific. I need a 20, 2 10s and 2 5s. Anybody got it?
You take card?
You got 3 minutes.
I've got $20. How about we come together and we all buy it? I've got 20. Who's got 5? And who's got it? And who's got the other bit? So I've got. I've got some. We can do it.
You've got some?
No. I've got 2 20s. A 10 and a 5. I've got a 20.
I got 20.
And he needs. I've got 20. We need somebody that's got 5.
Someone who's got 5 or
Yeah,
10.
in a room full of 400 people, this took 15.
Yeah, I got 10.
This took 15 minutes to sell.
Somebody got another 5.
Another 5.
Yeah, I got a 5.
Yay.
At 20,
Yeah, it's sold.
2, no,
Yeah.
no, it's not, it's wrong
How many
money.
2 10s?
2 10.
We need
20,
10.
2 10s and 2
Oh,
5s.
2
2 10s.
2 10.
Another 10.
Everybody cash.
Another 10.
People are willing to give their money away.
There you go.
Done.
So we'll go to the shop, we'll buy a couple and you don't buy.
Now,
Ah,
done.
yeah, that's yours.
So let me have.
Sorry? That's the right money. Now, the real purpose of the exercise is, when I said I was going to sell a $100 bill for $50, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
There's a catch. Dodgy.
That's dodgy, there's a catch to it. So is that how you live your life? Because I did a deal before Christmas where for a $300,000 investment in 8 months, the guy would make $600,000. And he walked away with it in 10 days because he got cold feet, because he thought the deal was too good to be real. So that's the one that got me into trouble, because I got greedy and went and took it myself and didn't really have the money for it, but I've worked it out. Right? So really think about what happened then. Right? And the other thing is, you've got the 100. Does anybody even know who contributed the money towards it? And do you have any agreements about getting your money back?
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. So when you go into a deal, make sure you're really clear about the deal and get the back end worked out as well as the front end. Now you might sit there and laugh and think it's a funny little exercise, but it's probably one of the most powerful learning experiences you'll have. This is what dictates where you are now. It's how you think. Because it's not about what other people think. It's what you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself that affects yourself the most. And everybody's got that internal chatter that goes on about how good you are, but it's really about you are good. It's just a matter of getting that focus and making it happen. But Anita wants me to finish, so I'll stop talking.
Campbell calls me the time police.
Sorry. Yeah.
Campbell calls me the time police.
Yes. Yeah, she is. And it's good because it keeps the group focused. But no, life's really good. You just got to make the most out of it. And we can all do a lot more with our life than we need. It's a matter of working out what you really need to do and what you want to achieve. What's your legacy you want to leave? I know what mine is. But it's about what you need to do and what you want to do. Anyway, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Gordon. Cool, thank you very much. Great.